Hi everyone, Angela here. If you're anything like me, you might have a drawer full of pretty scarves that you're just not wearing. In this video, I'll show you how I turn some of mine into Instant Bow Scarves. You'll need a ruler or measuring tape, a vanishing marking pen or some chalk, a couple of pins or fabric clips, matching thread and a sewing needle, thread clippers, a set of size 7 snaps or press studs. These measure 3/4 of an inch or 19 millimeters across. Links for all these items are down in the description below. The first scarf I'm going to sew measures about 8 inches wide by 55 inches long. Fold it in half with wrong sides together and then place a clip or a pin to mark the center. Open up the scarf again with the wrong side facing you. From the center, mark 8.5 inches on either side along both edges. Then draw a straight line connecting the top and bottom marks. On the left, mark 8.5 inches from the bottom mark and then 13 inches from the top mark. Then draw another straight line to join those two new marks. On the right, mark 8.5 inches at the top and 13 inches on the bottom from the first marks, and then join the marks again with a straight line. So you should have 2 straight lines in the center and 2 lines on the same angle at the sides. Next, we need to thread our needle so that we end up with a double strand to sew with, and then just knot it at the ends. On the bottom, turn your edge about 3/8 of an inch over. Put your needle in where the mark is, catch the edge with a stitch, and then put your needle in through the edge again to secure it. Then we're going to sew a running stitch along that line, making the stitches about 1/4 of an inch long. It's easiest to go in and out and kind of push the fabric onto your needle. Don't worry if your stitches aren't perfectly even. If you're new to my channel, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and turn on all of your notifications so you don't miss any of my new videos. When you get to about an inch from the top, fold the edge over towards you, continue stitching, catching that edge with your needle, pull through, and then pull your threads until all the fabric is gathered to about an inch wide. Keeping the fabric gathered, sew a few more stitches through the gathered fabric and the edge, then make a knot to finish off your stitching. By stitching and gathering on an angle, it creates a really nice pointed end for the scarf. Now repeat the stitching for the other 3 lines. Now, of course, you can do all this gathering with the sewing machine, but I wanted to make a tutorial so that anyone can do this with just a needle and thread. When you finish gathering all of the lines, on one end, match the gathers with wrong sides together. Start your stitching by catching both of the folded edges together. Stitch around and around a few times, and then go in and out through all the layers till you get to the other edge. And then again, stitch around those folded edges a few times, and then knot your thread to finish off the stitching. Repeat for the other end, match your gathers, wrong sides together, and then stitch through all the layers again. We now need to thread our needle again. Pull out about 60 inches of thread, and in the center, push the fold of the thread through the eye of the needle. Pull through, and now you've got 4 strands of thread. Cut evenly, and then tie all 4 ends into a knot. Having 4 strands of thread will make sewing on the snaps really fast and easy. Looking at the scarf with the ends folded over, open up the left end so that the wrong sides are facing you. Take 1/2 of your snap set and place it in the center of those gathers. We'll be stitching the snap onto the back layers of fabric, making sure not to stitch through to the other side of the scarf. Stitch through the fabric in one of the holes, stitch through again. This time place your needle through the fabric and then into the next hole. Stitch through the fabric into the same hole, now stitch through the fabric and place your needle into the next hole. Repeat this till you get right around the whole snap. Once you've sewn through the last hole twice, stitch through the fabric again, and then finish your stitching by tying off with a knot. Stitch through the fabric one last time and trim off the end of your thread. Again, the snap is in between the fabric in the middle of the gathers. On the right side of the scarf, we're not going to stitch the other side of the snap in the same position. Instead, we're going to turn it over and place it on top of those gathers. Now repeat the sewing method to attach this side of the snap. Make sure to watch till the end of the video to see how this works with two larger scarves. Now it's ready to wear with the snaps on each side of the scarf. This next scarf I have here measures 28 inches wide by 70 inches long. Now because it's so wide, we'll fold the width in half with wrong sides together. Now fold the length of the scarf in half and mark the centers with either a clip or pin and open up the scarf again. You're now going to mark this scarf using the exact same measurements as the first scarf. You'll also be sewing it the same way. The only difference is you're sewing through 2 layers and you don't need to turn the ends at the top or bottom. This third scarf is much bigger, measuring 44 inches wide by 72 inches long. Use exactly the same measurements to mark out this scarf, but because it's so wide, you may want to put pins along the lines before you sew it. Because there's so much fabric, it's quite thick when you pull your thread to gather it up. Use the thread to wrap around the gathers a few times, and then finish off by sewing through the fabric and making your knot. Now finish this big scarf by attaching the snaps in exactly the same way. To wear the scarf, just place it around your neck with the snap on one side facing up, and then just pop the other side on top of it. Fluff it up, and then you have a nice big bow. Twist it around and play with it to get a slightly different look. This is just a bigger version of the same scarf. So you can see it doesn't take very long to turn your scarf into an instant bow. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and turn on all of your notifications. Until next time, happy sewing!